Welcome to the Fans Ed Sports Show, hosted by 216 Mike and EG Laflare. Also produced by Walt K Disney. This is a sports show with a college football focus that allows fans to create topics and discussions.
So what we need y'all to do is subscribe to our show and join the discussion. We are on all social media platforms, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. And we stream live every Sunday night, and the show will be available on all podcast platforms every Monday morning. All right, let's go. Let's get right into it. We got a lot to get into it today.
Let's go.
And I know this incident happened, I believe, after our last show here.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to take the time out to give out prayers for the University of Virginia and community. I know, as a lot of people may know, 3 Cavalier football players were shot and killed: Lavelle Davis, Devin Chandler, and Deshaun Perry. They were shot and killed last Sunday on a charter bus after returning from a school field trip. And this past Saturday, they did cancel the game against Coastal to hold a memorial service with the families and teammates there. So definitely prayers go out to them and the community for sure.
Yeah, man, it's a sad situation, especially hearing like it was a former teammate, a former player, and it's just another act of senseless violence, man. And it's just crazy that people don't know how to use their words, don't know how to talk things out. People let pride. I mean, obviously, I don't know what really happened in this situation, but I mean, I can say obviously pride got in the way. What makes you want to take a life and end yours? Like, I mean, it can never be that bad, man.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good
EG.
stuff. Like you said, man, it was senseless, man. It's hard to believe, and especially from a former football player, man. It could have been worked out, man. It's never that serious to react that way, man. It's just sad, man. Prayers to the University of Virginia and those players' families.
Oh yeah, definitely go. We'll keep you guys updated with the new information that comes in. I know there is still one player that is critically injured and is still in the hospital making a recovery, and there was another female who was injured and she is at home making recovery as well. So college football playoffs update. I mean, this past week, the past couple of weeks, has had a lot of shakeups. Tennessee definitely goes down against South Carolina this past week, so I'm sure we will be out of the number 5 spot as USC comes into the 5th spot on the AP poll ranking. But Alabama fans, don't get your hopes up. If there is any 2-loss team that goes into the playoffs, it will not be you. It's going to be Tennessee. And Mike, what's your thoughts on this? Is it a possibility that a 2-loss team will make the playoff?
I mean, it could be a possibility. I mean, here's the thing. You got a couple teams that have a couple games to lose, right? And if one team will say if USC loses one game, they'll have 2 losses. If you have TCU, if they lose the next 2 games, they'll have 2 losses. Or if they have 1 loss, I mean, they'll still be cozied up maybe in the 3rd spot. But everything behind that 3rd spot could possibly be 2 losses other than the Ohio State and team up north. So you could be talking about, hey, a team that didn't make the conference championship, why shouldn't they get in? I mean, this is crazy, man. I mean, we could see 2 teams from the same conference and it not be the SEC as well. I mean, this is craziness. The playoff committee, they gotta talk to me, man. They really gotta talk to me this week. I'm ready.
EG.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, this is the wildest playoff race in a while, man. It's like, hey, every game right now, it don't matter who you playing, it don't matter who it's up against right now. The fact that you're playing for the playoffs, it just seems like it's creating some type of, you know, nervousness within the program. It's like it's making the guys nervous. It's a big game. Every moment is big. It's like, see what happened with Tennessee. No one even batted an eye at the thought of South Carolina beating Tennessee. Who was like, hey, Tennessee schedule is easy from here on out. Those guys get in after the SEC championship was decided. And now look, South Carolina upsets them. So hey, I don't know. I can't say for sure no one is going to win their next game because the playoffs are on the line. So we can't overlook any game. We can't
This is
overlook
why.
anything. And TCU plays Iowa State, and I can't say, hey, TCU is going to beat their tail. I can't even say that. It's so much pressure on right now, and it's going to be amazing to see who comes out. And watch out for USC. That's my one thing. Watch out for USC.
Mhm.
Even though they have a tough last game, they could creep up into their playoffs in Lincoln Riley's first year. That would be a great accomplishment.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This is all just going crazy. We're obviously going to find out, this coming week, man. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. The playoff committee is in for a rude awakening, man. This is crazy.
Hey, and one of those
Let's
two-loss teams
go.
could be
But this is why I was always against expanding the playoffs, because the regular season means so much. It is the playoffs. It's the only sport where the regular season means so much, man. And that's why I'm like,
I have a question for both of y'all. Who would be the best two-loss team in the country, in your opinion? This no
it's gonna
biasness,
it's
no
gonna have to
biasness.
it's gonna have to be right now. I would say the team that got the best losses, two loss team with the best losses is Penn State. They
okay.
lost to the number 2 and number 3
What
team.
does Penn State?
And
What does
and I
Penn State
honestly I
fall
feel
right
like
now?
they have been disrespected. And I tell you this, if they're behind Tennessee, I think that's BS, because Tennessee got blown out by an unranked team as well, where Penn State's only loss was to the number 2 and number 3 team in the nation, bro.
That's true. You got a point on that.
So Penn State is at the number 11 mark, and he's saying they're the best two-loss team in his eyes.
I'm saying they got the
Me,
best
I
two
think I would.
losses.
Right. Me, man, I would pull more for.
You go say Oregon.
It's tough, man. I would.
He's gonna say Bama.
I want to say Oregon right off the top of my head. Right, I want to say Oregon though. No, not Bama.
You
I'm
gonna
not.
say
I'm off the
Bama.
Bama train. I wanted to say Oregon, but I just can't, man. I'm just gonna say LSU has got some momentum rolling. So I would say LSU, even though their wins against Arkansas wasn't as convincing to me as it should have been. I thought they looked kind of bad, but right now, man, I'm gonna go with LSU, man. Best two-loss team right now.
Okay. Right now, LSU, I know they're going to get beat by Georgia, so that makes them a 3-loss team. But I would probably have to go.
Absolutely.
I would probably have to go with Oregon. If you don't take Oregon, I'll probably take Oregon on that. Oregon right now. And then
Okay.
what about Clemson? I think they only have one loss right now, and they're like 7.
Yeah, we didn't
They're like
even
under
mention them.
LSU. So Clemson is only one loss team right now.
That's crazy.
But I just feel like I mean, we've talked about this in Twitter Spaces and things like this, but I just feel like Clemson was eliminated after they got smacked by Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame, so it's going to be Clemson and North Carolina in the ACC championship game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Notre Dame has smacked both of them. Both of them.
Yeah. And
like
no one
Notre
believes
Dame.
in anything Clemson's doing.
And then Syracuse was their other ranked team. Notre Dame smacked them too. I mean,
yeah.
I just felt like when they lost to Notre Dame, they were just all eliminated. But I mean, Hey, can we talk about Notre Dame just beating all of these ranked teams if they have another one against USC?
Yep.
Why not a 3-loss team?
Hey,
Hey, you never know. You
This
never
is
know.
crazy,
Ooh.
bro. I love college football. This is why I love college football, because the regular season means so much. This is why I was not for expanded playoffs, bro. Like, look at it. All of these teams that couldn't hack it, that got exposed or whatever, now they're going to be in the playoffs. Crazy.
Question,
That's
hypothetical
crazy.
question. If, and we're going to get a little bit to this later, but just put this on your mind. If Michigan loses to Ohio State, TCU moves up to 4th, Michigan moves to 5th, or do they jump down a little bit more? And is it based off of how they play and what's the score? But
The question
Mm.
is
That's a good question because there's so many teams with one loss, man. One loss. So my thing is, if USC go out there and finish their last game strong, convincingly by 20 to 30 points, Michigan will fall right under USC at number 6 mark and slightly out of the playoffs because you can't take out USC because they're a one-loss team and they're already at number 5. They're at that 5th spot. So USC might move up to 4 and Michigan will be right there at 5 because the number 6 is a 2-loss team crazily. So I think Michigan falls right under USC.
so basically you're asking what would it take for that team up north to slip right in, right?
yep.
Okay. So what it would take is for USC to lose one more game. What it would take for
Yeah.
is TCU to not be a one-loss conference champion, right?
Mm-hmm.
What it would take for is Clemson to lose another game. So
Okay.
the winner of the Ohio State team up north game will be counting on all 3 of those factors.
Okay.
So
Take note.
I mean,
Anything can happen. I don't see Michigan making it, but we'll see. Especially this week.
I don't know. Don't even count, bro. You ain't gonna want to see them after this game. We'll get to that later.
well,
Hey, but you know what's crazy? At the beginning of the year, I bet my money on Michigan winning it against Ohio State and Ohio State being that team, the last team that slips in. That was my playoff prediction at the beginning of the year because they win every game but the Michigan game. That's what I had at the beginning of the year, one of our very first podcasts. So it'll be interesting to see, man. I mean, that would be
hey,
crazy.
It would
each
be crazy. Yeah, you
EG
did say it.
trending, trending right, and moving on. Heisman front runner.
Uh,
There's no true Heisman candidate. Not really a front runner. We got Hendon Hooker, which tore his ACL, so he's out for the season. Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud. Now they're introducing Caleb Williams. Bo Nix was in the mix. So that's just to name a few. But in the past years, we literally kind of knew going into these final weeks
Yeah.
who was expected to win the Heisman. EG, what's your prediction on this and who you see as your front runner?
man, the Heisman is such a toss up right now. I don't know who the Heisman favorite is. I can't. I mean, I don't know, man. Like everyone is like up and down. My favorite before this week was Hendon Hooker. Now the fact that he got injured and they lose to South Carolina, I don't know who I want to win the Heisman. To start the season, I had booked for C.J. Stroud. And he's been struggling as of late as far as Heisman numbers go. He don't have a bunch of touchdowns as of late, and now it's just like I don't know, man. You guys have to tell me. I'm not sure.
Hey,
Yeah.
so
Stroud,
Stroud
I
looks like
mean,
Stroud.
right now, he just, I guess, he has the numbers, but it's going to come down to the game. All eyes, big noon kickoff. It's going to be there. College game day is going to be there. Like, this is your Heisman moment. and we're going to see if Blake Corum can go. I mean, really, whoever goes off in this game is if it's Blake Corum, he's winning it. And they win the game, he's winning it. If CJ Stroud has a game and Ohio State wins, he's winning the Heisman. It's locked up. Put it all to rest. That's just how it would go. But we're all going to find out November 26th. Also, I mean, you could have said Drake May was up there, but boom, they just took an L again at Georgia Tech. Who else was up there? I don't know. I mean, Caleb Williams is there. He gotta show us a good game against Notre Dame and this defense and this team that has just been steamrolling teams. And Lincoln Riley has issues against teams with them trenches, man. And Notre Dame been showing that they're able to get it done on the ground game more than the passing game. Also, we'll have a top tight end on Notre Dame's roster as well. Let's see if they can scheme up for that, but I'm not trusting Alex Grinch when it comes to that. That's just me.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see as the week progresses. We got some tough matchups coming up, but let's get into the Week 12 recap before we get into that Week 13 preview. First game, we had USC taking that dub against UCLA by 3 points. So they clinched the spot in the Pac-12 playoffs. The Trojans only punted once while racking up 649 yards and rallying from a 14-0 deficit in the first half. Caleb Williams, as we just talked, he's one of the possible Heisman candidates, threw for 470 yards, scored both through the air and on the ground. And Mike and I were talking before the show. As for Thompson Robinson, he accounted for 6 touchdowns, but he also committed 3 turnovers, which is why USC was able to narrowly escape from this game. And Mike, I know you had some comments on this. So what was your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, man, this game was going exactly how I kind of thought that it would go. I had originally picked UCLA to win this game, and it just came down to decision-making, poor decision-making, just trying to fit things where they shouldn't be going. And I think the fact that he turned the ball over that many times and they were still in the game says a lot as well. But it's a young quarterback, man. He'll be able to come back next year, and he'll definitely be one of those Heisman hopefuls. He just got to get better with his decision making. But good win for USC. It seemed like every top team had a struggling win and had to battle back. But that's what November is about, champions. Who want the championship?
And EG, I know you picked USC for this game, so I know you had some hope in Caleb Williams there.
Hey, like I say, Georgia's the only true team right now that's showing me that they can play defense. And so I knew this game would be an offensive battle. So, this game was hardly no defense was played in this game, but ultimately defense is what decided the game. That last pick by Foreman kind of sealed the game, and USC escaped. Man, it's amazing to see what Lincoln Riley is doing in his very first year. His offense is already looking like that same offense that was at Oklahoma. Caleb Williams is such a Lincoln Riley type of QB. The guy numbers is getting better and better, man. Great job by USC, man. They're going to have to show a little more defense when they get up into that playoff, maybe that playoff talk. They're going to have to show a little more defense, but right now their offense is clicking, man.
Oh, yeah. And we'll talk a little bit more about USC in for the Week 13 preview, as they have a really big match coming up. And for our second week recap, we got Utah taking on Oregon. Bo Nix remains solid. I was a little concerned that he would not play as he did get, I think, an ankle injury on the last game before this game matchup against Utah. He did what needed to be done. They scored on the first drive, was up at the half. Nix, he still didn't look 100%, so I'm a little concerned going into next week's game. And this possibly puts them in the Pac-12 championship race. So we definitely want we definitely want Bo Nix to remain healthy and to stay strong out there and not get hurt against this Oregon State game. I don't think it's a really big one. And Mike, you had Utah. Where did they go
Yeah.
wrong?
Utah just could not seem to get any offensive rhythm together. You know, they came out, put 14 points up when they came out of half, but that just wasn't enough. You know, they had the tie. The score was tied, battling all throughout the fourth. Held Oregon to only scoring the field goal, so all they needed was a touchdown to go ahead and win the game, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't get anything going on offense. Cam Rising threw 3 interceptions, so that also doesn't help as well when you're turning the ball over. And so, also shout out to Oregon. Now, Bo Nix didn't really do that bad. He did have an interception, but he was 25 of 37. And you know, sometimes when you do have those ankle injuries and you can't it throws like your footwork can definitely throw off your mechanics you know of throwing the ball. So
Well, you know what I would like to commend in this game, I would like to salute in this game is two Pac-12 teams playing defense. It was a defensive battle, man. I think 20 points is fairly low for two Pac-12 teams, and 17 points from Utah is fairly low. Each team was held to about 300 yards total. Oregon couldn't run the ball in that game when I was watching, and Utah didn't pass all that well. So it was basically a great defensive battle from two teams, very lower scoring than I expected. And Oregon didn't even score a touchdown in the second half. They just held on to finally win that game. I think the last score was a field goal in maybe the third quarter, if I'm not mistaken. They just held on, played defense. So shout out to the defense that was played in those two games. And Bo Nix got it done, man. That's who I picked to win.
Yep, he definitely got it done. All the Ducks need is a win over the rival Oregon State next week to advance to the Pac-12 champ. So
okay.
it's going to be a good game. And we got a comment. How about we talk about the South Carolina
He
game?
said,
Oh yeah. Hey man,
everyone wants to talk about
somebody
it.
on
I
your
think I
Not
neck,
too
seen.
on
much.
your neck.
Not
Hey,
too
so
much.
let's talk about it, man. I mean, you know, as my man, what's his name, Cam Smith said, they asked him about, hey, what adjustments, you know, was made, and he said there was none. You know, just had to let our nuts drop.
And he was correct on that.
Yeah, I saw
like,
that in the
bro,
press. I saw it.
Then
No
My guy
adjustment in the second
Fantastic,
half.
popped in and said something too about it's crazy because I know he's talking about the Tennessee and South Carolina game because he's been talking smack with those Tennessee fans. He's a Georgia guy. He's been
yeah,
talking smack with Tennessee fans for a whole week and still right now talking smack to him on Twitter. So man, everyone wants to talk about that game, man.
yeah.
Yeah, you're
They
right. South
did that.
They
Hey,
definitely did. Hey, I
They did
can't.
it,
As a true
man.
Tennessee fan, I will have to agree with that. If we was just chasing our tails
they
the whole
couldn't get a
time.
stop, man.
No, mm-mm.
The
Secondaries, the
DBs just looked
whole.
bad.
It was just all the way around
Ooh.
bad. It was all the way around bad. We couldn't compete with the scoring. We couldn't score
Every
on.
t- every time y'all crept back, they come back slinging. Slinging.
Spencer Rattler decided he wanted to play football. I was like, what was this when he was in Oklahoma? He was just like, okay, let me go to South Carolina and play for the SEC and see what we can do there. So
Yeah.
good for him.
That boy
Good.
said he an NFL quarterback.
Hey, they said don't count him out. I had to burn
Hey,
that Spencer Rattler
hey,
jersey though. I ain't
man,
gonna lie.
I'm just letting you know. Tennessee had Anthony Richardson looking like he was a Heisman contending quarterback. Man, what's up with y'all defense?
They
You
never
look
had
like,
defense. They
nah,
they never had any defense all year. They just outscore every opponent.
Yeah, that's really what it
If
is.
they get some stops, it was great if they got some stops. I seen one game they were picking off the ball quite often. I can't remember what game it was, but they
Will
had a few
Levis.
picks in there. If they get those,
I
yeah,
think it
probably
was the
what. Yep,
Will
it was
Levis
Kentucky.
game. Yeah,
They had three. They had like three picks,
yeah, Will Levis.
And I
and that's just a bonus. But they're just looking to outscore you.
And it's nice to see Hyatt back out there, but yeah, it wasn't
Hyatt
good.
who? Who? They said that man Cam Smith had Hyatt in his pocket.
No, that's what I'm about to say. It was nice to see him out there running around, but that's all he wouldn't do. That's all he was doing out there.
Yeah. They said
That's
Cam
all.
Smith had him in his
Tillman
pocket.
came back alive.
Tillman definitely came back alive. Hyatt, I
He's
feel like
back.
he's second now. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just bad. It's just all bad. Uh-oh.
Let's go.
Where did are you talking about Spencer or Tillman?
Where did he come
Came
from?
from
Or Rattler? Rattler
who we
came
talking
from
about?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Rattler came from Oklahoma. Tillman came back from injury.
Tillman came
Yeah,
He
back.
came back
Tillman
Yeah,
came back
yeah,
from
injury.
injury. Yeah.
yeah. Keep those
He was
comments
the number
coming.
one receiver before Hyatt emerged.
Yep.
Okay.
Tillman was supposed to be the man this year.
Yep. Until Hyatt had, what was it, 5? Count them, 5 touchdowns against
Who
Alabama.
in one game?
Yep.
Hey, I got
And
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
hey, Spencer Rattler said he had 5 too. So coming in with the pick totals, we got EG coming in this week with 2-0, and Mike at 0-2. Let's hope it's not the same for the Week 13 preview as we
Right.
get right into it. Coming up first, we got the game.
The game.
Yeah.
Let's do
We got the
it.
battle between number 2 and number 3. Some call it the elimination game, so we'll see what happens. The past couple of matchups I've seen, Michigan has narrowly escaped. This past weekend against Illinois, they walked away with a win off of the kicker, which, I mean, a win is a win. So, hey, I definitely, hey, it still counts on that resume. So the offenses both play at a high level this season. They come in first and second in the Big Ten. Both defenses have performed well this year as well. Michigan is first in the Big Ten in total yards allowed and points allowed per game, while Ohio State ranks 5th in each category. So, EG, who you going with in this matchup?
Hey, baby, I'm going with Big Blue. Let's go. Blake Corum. Run it down their throat. Their guy, what's the backup? The backup running back, little number, I think he's number 7.
Donovan
Edwards is his name. Edwards. Hey, I'm expecting them Ohio State to know what's coming, but can't stop it. Can't stop it. They think Maryland was tough. They think Maryland scored some points. I think Michigan comes through, run that ball in a close game. I just got Michigan winning by maybe 3 points to a touchdown. I got Michigan.
Close game, it sounds like. Close
Gary
game.
said, smart man.
Yep. We agree with you on the Blake.
Let's go.
Uh-oh. Mike, and who you got? I actually don't know who you got in this game. Who are you going with in this matchup?
Man, you know who I got, man. It's up, man. It's up, man. It's the game. Hey, it's time. We about to beat bitch again out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State, the Ohio State Buckeyes, man. Everybody been talking about that team up north because they won their little once in a decade. Let me give y'all some stats on this, right? The last time that they won was in 2011 after Jim Tressel had resigned his post at Ohio State. They won in 2021 when the defensive coordinator, Kerry Combs, was relieved of his position. So every time they won in the past couple decades or whatever has been over some turmoil. And I'm telling you right now, you can call 2021 the fluke game. Because that's what it's going to be known from. I guarantee you, bro, the only issue that Ohio State had was their defense couldn't stop a parked car. I'm trying to tell you, bro. Couldn't stop nothing, bro. The only time they had one stop was when K McNamara threw the ball right to Bryson Shaw, the worst player that was on Ohio State's defense. Sorry to say it just was. You know what I'm saying? But right now, both teams are going through some issues in the running back room. We saw Blake Corum go down. But I did see him walking around, passing some turkeys. He did still look a little bit hobbled. But I'm hoping that he can be back. It was definitely sad to see him go down. I want to be able to beat them at their best. I don't want any excuses or any of that crap. You know what I'm saying? What I also saw is the number one running back for Ohio State is freshman Dallin Hayden, and they should have used him more. Like I said, all week long, I didn't want to see Travion out there. I wanted to see Dallin Hayden because him being healthy and the only healthy scholarship running back on Ohio State's roster or whatever, he showed that he was able to carry the load, man. And you get Mayan Williams back next week, and I'm expecting Ryan Day to open the playbook up. I'm not expecting to see this same slow pace. Everybody done been talking about Ohio State, calling them a finesse team, calling them soft. They done heard about it. It's been posted all around the Woody. These guys have a period called the Team Up North period every week. They ready to bring it, and it's going down in Columbus. These guys have not won in Columbus since any of y'all probably been alive. I mean, literally, bro, it is a wrap, man. It's a wrap on that Team Up North, man.
Can I say something? Can I say something?
Of course.
People would think that Stroud is the key to this game, but I honestly think it's Ohio State's running back room, like you said. Mayan Williams come back, which will be helpful. And you had a new guy emerge this week who had a great game. And just let's take it back. Ohio State versus Maryland. Maryland had more total yards than Ohio State. That's uncharacteristic of them. Hey, those guys are passing all over Ohio State. Let's hope Ohio State fix these problems. Let's hope they get it together before the game because, hey, if you're going to give up 30 to Maryland, what about the number 2 offense in the Big Ten?
I'm not worried about it when my defense and my cornerbacks are playing 10 yards off of the ball against them. One thing that I have seen is Talia Tagovailoa is a better quarterback than J.J. McCarthy. The offense is better than Maryland shows me that they can throw the ball. When has that Team Up North showed me that they could throw the ball? When their 95% of their production went down or whatever, where was JJ to be found? I'm not worried. Bro. I watched Illinois stack 8 in the box and shut them boys down even before dude got hurt, bro. I'm not worried, bro. You stay gap sound against these dudes. You stack that box, you're good. And what I also saw is when Ohio State was playing man coverage and actually wasn't playing 10 yards off the ball, we was getting to the quarterback, putting pressure on him, and making plays on the defensive side. I'm not worried. Hey, when Jim knows say I want to dial something up to stop it, he do it. I ain't worried, man. Let's get it, man. Y'all gonna start. Y'all gonna put some respect on our name, bro. Y'all gonna put some respect on our name come November 26th. I want everybody to come stand in the paint. Y'all been talking all that stuff, man.
Hey, you got to join it. And what's really weird, I never thought I would hear you say you're not worried and then include defense in the same
it
thing.
Said Mike worried.
Bro, you dang right. We got a top 10 defense, bro. Ain't nobody worried. Worried about what?
We're not worried about what the numbers look like on paper.
Come stand in the paint.
Hey,
what's up with the hating ass argument? I can't give my opinion. Golly, man.
Get him, Cam.
Everybody want to attack my team because I give my opinion.
Hey.
Golly, man.
Arkansas did walk away
I
with
just
the
think Michigan is going to win.
Hey, man.
Michigan defense is better than Ohio State's.
One notable difference is that the Wolverines have held their Big Ten opponents to 17 points or fewer in the 7 of their 8 conference matchups.
Defense.
So we'll see.
Defense wins championships.
We see. Mike said he not worried though.
I'm not worried.
Mike said he not worried.
But shout out to Ohio State. They had Maryland at 84 rushing yards.
Hey, I done seen wide receivers dunk on their head, bro. On them DB's head, bro. I ain't worried, man. I ain't worried about that.
No one is down that y'all got wide receivers.
I got running backs on deck too, bro. You seen Dallin Hayden, but you ain't the previous week before that. Did you see my man Xavier Johnson go for 71 yards? Hey, before my man TC Kathy went down. Did you see him, bro? And we got Chip. We got Chip Trainer back there. We got some guys y'all ain't even know about. You didn't even know about Dallin Hayden, bro. Come on, man. Everybody trying to hear this, man.
Mike
Nobody
said,
even know about my guy.
he said, you ain't
Nobody
even seen the
know
full
about my
playbook
guy.
yet.
National media didn't even know about my guy till he came out there, man.
Didn't even know about the roster.
Bro,
He
this
said,
is what November is for. Who got the horses? Because I tell you, the team y'all hyping up, they didn't have the horses when that horse went down.
we'll see who got the horses this upcoming Saturday.
You
So
better hope the heel on that horse is kind of damaged.
I hope that it is great.
He's gonna bring it.
I pray. I hope that he is miraculously healed. I'm praying that he is 100%. I want them at their best.
Me too.
I don't want no excuses.
Me too.
None, because I'm not giving. I don't even care that my team ain't at their best. I want them all, bro.
they said Dallas might be a playmaker next season or in the this postseason. Trey Sherman.
He meant Dallas. I know autocorrect is terrible, bro. It did that to me while I was typing too. It's Dallin, yeah.
Dallin, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gary said Michigan got 5 horses, cornbread on the line, $3.15 each of them. So we'll see.
You know the run is coming, and Michigan still successfully runs the ball.
I ain't see 23 do nothing, but okay, Gary. Okay, Gary.
You know how many rush yards does Blake Corum have, man?
Hold on, let me go look at this.
I think I was.
I don't know. They done ran my man into the ground, bro. I've been saying that they need to do load management on my guy, man. Because I was fearful of this. I've been saying this stuff for the last time. Who was 23?
1,400 rushing yards, 18 TDs.
You talking about the little?
He ain't having a lot of off games.
Hold on, Gary. You talking
Corum.
about the little CJ Stokes that only averaged 3.3 yards? You talking about that little guy? Dallin Hayden's better than him, bro. I ain't worried about that, man. I ain't worried about that, man.
They said Dallin is Trey with vision.
I'm not worried about that, man.
Blake Corum ain't having a lot of bad games if healthy. 1,400 yards, 18 touchdowns, 6 yards a carry.
Yeah.
Be ready.
He said 23 freshman. He was talking about the line on that.
Mine's a true freshman too. You feel averaging what? I ain't got no excuse. My guy's averaging 5.4 as a true freshman. Yeah, I'm fine. I get horses. Yeah, autocorrect is crazy, bro. Right. Yeah, trust me, I know.
Oh yeah, that boy out of Memphis.
Oh,
I didn't know that.
See, there you go, EG. There you go.
Hey.
All
right. Getting some PT up there now, huh?
It's okay. I don't even hate on people who've been hating on my man Dallin because Ohio State fans hated on him when we recruited him, talking about, he's not a top recruit and all of this stuff. Yeah, now look at him. Everybody happy about him. So.
Oh, yeah, they definitely they said he played at Arkansas.
I know his brother transferred to Illinois.
Brother played at Arkansas.
I thought
track. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, he sure lives from Christian Brothers. I see you from Christian Brothers.
Okay, that's what's
all
up.
Right. He gets some PT as a freshie. That's all right.
Dang, EG, what happened? You want to talk about it, EG, man?
Is that what it is? That's why he always goes for that team up north.
Easy heart. Hey man, I have nothing against Ohio State besides hearing them trash talk me all summer. I still gave them the props. I still selected Ohio State to win the championship when the season first started. Now I'm just feeling like that's not going to happen. I'm just being honest. I'm just being disappointed week to week. I expected their offense to be the best in the nation, score 50 on everyone, and it's not happening. Every week the opponent, it's like they're playing down to competition lately.
It happens.
Georgia doing the same thing though, but I can't say like Georgia's doing the same thing.
I appreciate that, EG, because normally you wouldn't say that, man. Yeah. I appreciate that. You growing on me, bro. I appreciate that.
Hey, we did.
I gotta be honest, bro.
speaking of Georgia, we did miss a comment earlier. She said Kentucky did make Georgia work a little bit this week. So
Yeah, they
yeah,
did, man.
Yeah.
They
they definitely.
definitely did. Sorry we
So
missed that
Yeah.
comment.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry we missed that, but yeah, you definitely right about that. Okay, and moving
Yeah, I
on.
mean, good teams can't walk in and just win. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, my bad, EG. I didn't mean to. Yeah, but you exactly right. And like
No, I
Mike,
was saying the good teams, right? They can't just walk in and win the game. So
mm-mm. And like
they
Mike
got to
said,
play. But
November
go
makes
ahead,
a lot of
Diz.
teams for sure. November definitely makes a lot of teams. In our another matchup, we got a rivalry game coming in with Oregon versus Oregon State this Saturday. Oregon is coming in off of a win over Utah. This matchup will, I think, make Oregon, if they do win, lock in that Pac-12 champ spot. So
Mhm.
hopefully they could walk away with the win on this. And as for Oregon State, we haven't really talked about them much, but they have a shot at a 10-win season. So this will be the first time I think, or this will be the third time in program history. The last two times they've had a 10-win season was back in 2000 and 2006. So in this matchup, I'm gonna have to go with Oregon. They're coming in with some momentum, and I know they want to end up in that Pac-12 conversation. So I know Bo Nix will hopefully stay healthy, get some rest this week, and then come in for this. And then it would be nice to see what the backups could do. It's the secondary. So I'm very interested to see how this game will turn out. EG, who you got for this game?
I got Oregon, man. And Bo Nix, man, I just like the guy, man. The guy seems like he's been playing college football for so long. He seems so old. But the guy's only 22 years old, but he's comfortable out there, man. He got that it factor about him. I like the guy, man. Even though Oregon State, their defense is kind of underrated. They have one of the better defenses in that conference, but I'm going to go with Oregon, man. I think they make enough plays to win that game, especially Bo Nix.
And Mike, who you got?
Man, I'm gonna pick Oregon, and probably because I picked them, they probably gonna lose because every time I pick against them, they end up winning somehow. I don't understand it, but no, I mean, their defense has been showing me that they can hold the team when the offense isn't able to get going. Um, so that's what I'm looking for Oregon to show that they have the better defense in this game. Hopefully, pain is weakness leaving the body. So hopefully Bo Nix has adjusted to this pain, adjusted, gets a little bit healed up, and that they go out there and ball, man. Because right now we're showing, man, teams are falling off, and boom, there goes your season. You thought that you was in contention, and boom, there goes your season. So with the losses that Oregon already has, they still want to be right there in the hunt. They still need to show the playoff committee if they could be one of those top, 2-loss teams or something like that. So
This will be
Hey,
the.
anything is possible.
You're exactly right about
you
that.
gotta see right now, like this is what I was saying what Tennessee need to do. With them being a one-loss team, what they needed to do was go out, beat every team convincingly, blow them out, and leave something in the committee's mind. So all of these teams right now that are still on the outside looking in, what you gotta do is put something in it because this is the last game of the season. You gotta, if you're not gonna go and be in the conference championship game, you have to put something in the committee mind that makes them just talk about you. Here comes conference champion game, but oh my God, they still can't keep they minds off of what happened last week, and that's very hard because we as a society, we as a people are very recency biased. So that's why I was saying
Right.
you gotta do something. You gotta show something. And to me, man, the only team that has been doing that is like Penn State. You know,
Yeah, I didn't even think about Penn
they've been
State.
blowing out. They've been blowing out all of their opponents since. So
Yeah, we've
Yeah,
been
that's a
on
pretty
them.
good team,
You're
man.
right. Yeah, you're exactly right. This will be the first, or this will be the ranked game for both Oregon and Oregon State
yeah,
since 2012. So,
wow,
in
God,
that game, the
before the
Ducks,
playoffs.
yeah, since 2012. So this is going to be a really huge game for that for the state for sure. And our last game, we got Notre Dame taking on USC on Saturday at 6:30 on ABC, Notre Dame blew out Boston College this past Saturday, 44-0. They said no mercy on them. And I feel like people kind of forgot about the first two losses of the season since the Fighting Irish had, because they picked up rhythm and they've been scoring on some high games. I mean, having a high score on these games. So, but even though they have some high scoring games, I'm still going to pick USC coming into this. They got a lot on the line. So I know USC is going to come in, and you got Caleb Williams and Lincoln Riley. You know, I'm a big Lincoln Riley fan, but I know we talk about Notre Dame's defense. And Mike, who you got on this?
Man, I'm actually going to go with Notre Dame, man. I'm going to pick the what they would like to say, the underdog in this game. Notre Dame has been on a winning streak ever since that they lost to Stanford. They look like they have found their identity, because in the beginning of the season, that seemed to be their issue. They were in an identity crisis. New staff, new coach, and these guys have rallied around each other. Have picked each other up. You're also seeing that defense coming to its own, getting stops. And one thing I know about Lincoln Riley, his teams have never been too good in the trenches. And Notre Dame is going to make this about being in the trenches. Also, everybody's like, well, this game is at USC. Notre Dame just blew out Boston College when the snow was coming down, covering the whole entire field. They've been playing in the cold. You think these boys ain't ready to play in the warm? These boys hungry, man. And like I said, everybody been peeking. Everybody been peeking. So we gonna see, man. I got Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman and his guys gonna fight to the end.
EG.
Hey, man. Shout out to Marcus Freeman, man. I'm happy he was able to pull it together, man. Everyone kind of gave up on Notre Dame after that Marshall loss. That's an embarrassing loss, I guess. But
you gave up on
everyone gave up on Freeman. But if you look at it, they played Ohio State well. They've beaten at least 3 ranked teams, even Clemson. So they have a solid resume. But I'm still going to go with USC in this game. I'm going to pick USC to win. I feel like their offense is good enough to play with anybody. I just don't see Notre Dame getting enough stops, even though they did shut out Boston College this past Saturday. But I still feel like Lincoln Riley's offense is so many weapons all around. I feel like USC gets the job done.
Okay. All right. I have to agree with you on that, especially when it talks about Lincoln Riley. And moving on to one of my favorite segments, we got the game ball. So each week we will hand out the game ball to the player or team that really stood out to us this week. So I'm going to have to go first. And I'm going to give a shout out to the Razorbacks as they beat Ole Miss this past week. Woo Pig.
They did more than beat them, boy. God,
boy.
man.
They say they came back with the vengeance.
Let's do it. Let's go.
They said that Liberty shouldn't have been a loss, that LSU shouldn't have lost. Look, they should have been playing like that all season.
A&M either.
Oh, yeah.
A&M either lost on the missed field goal.
Oh, yeah.
Where they could be if they just actually played like they played then. That's crazy.
Right, we're 5-5. We were 5-5 on paper, but a lot better team than anyone would expect. We had some mistakes go crazy, but hey, we're a lot better than people expect. So I hope people are not sleeping.
Oh, yeah. And I think now y'all are bowl eligible too, right? So we should be able to see the Razorbacks in the bowl.
Let's go bowling.
I saw that stat, man. Sam Pittman is now the fourth coach in the fourth coach in Arkansas history with three straight bowl appearances. That's crazy.
I remember
man.
Houston Nutt did it. Yeah, I think Houston Nutt did it. Bobby Petrino and Sam Pittman and I can't think of the other one.
I got to pick some better coaches, man.
Hey, man. They getting there.
Y'all athletic department got to do better, man.
They getting there.
All that money.
We getting there, man.
But
it's the location of Arkansas, man.
It really is the location of Arkansas. I ain't gonna lie on that.
Well, then don't let people take that drive. Start flying them in, man. Like, we got a city.
Right.
Start flying them in, man.
If you fly them in a Little Rock and have to drive 2.5 hours up there, nah, they be like, what is this? The natural state. the natural state.
Right.
But anyway, my game ball goes to Raheem Sanders, the running back for the Razorbacks. So this against this win against Ole Miss, he had 232 yards with 3 touchdowns, and the longest carry he had was for 68 yards. So shout out to the Razorbacks this week on becoming bowl eligible, and I hope you beat Mizzou's ass next week. So going on to EG, who you got?
Hey, I didn't want to be biased. I could have picked Rocket, but I'm going with the man himself, Spencer Rattler. 63 points on Tennessee. The guy went 30 for 37, 438 yards, 6 TDs, and here's the best part. No interceptions. They didn't have an answer for that guy. It's like he's like, I smell blood. Like, that this is a team that was number one in the college football playoff rankings when it first hit. Spencer Rattler was like, hey, let me show you guys something. Let me show y'all something. And hey, South Carolina 7-4 is not bad for how they look. For how they looked all year long. People were just calling South Carolina an easy win or a sorry team. 7-4 is not bad. Good win by South Carolina. Spencer Rattler, man, 438 yards, 6 TDs. Let's go, man. Game ball goes to him.
You right on that. And I realized, I didn't know that's what their record. We hear more about South Carolina's coach than we do
Yeah,
actually their game. So you're exactly right, EG, on that. And
right.
Mike, who you got for your game ball this week?
Man, I gotta go with the Ohio State running back, man, the true freshman we talked about earlier, Dallin Hayden. He had 146 yards, 3 touchdowns, average 5.4 yards, man. And I had been saying all week I thought that this was the game that they just need to start him. And honestly, I feel like if they did start him, this offense could have did a whole lot more than what they did and could have got the game out of hand quicker. I hope that the coaching staff can learn from this and learn, hey, we could trust this guy, because I want to say he had like over 20 carries as well. And the crazy part is he had over 20 carries and he didn't even start the full game.
That's crazy.
Like, I mean, come on, coaching staff, man. You got to know what you got and you got to use it. Don't be trying to rush guys back that's hurt. I had been saying I didn't think that was the game that Travion needed to come back for. But honestly, I'm glad that he did, because now it just shows the coaching staff that he's not ready and he's not that guy going into the next week.
You're exactly right. We got to help.
Hey, man.
Go ahead, EG.
That guy he kind of slipped under the radar, man. I didn't know that guy, man. He says he's from Memphis. He kind of slipped under the radar, man. Him and Mayan Williams both are kind of like low-rated running backs for Ohio State, and they're really impressive running backs. They're like 3-star guys, and they're actually really impressive. So shout out to that coaching staff for evaluating talent and putting them out there, man.
Yeah, we actually seen Dallin Hayden have rushed for over 100 yards earlier in the season, and right after he did it, he signed an NIL deal. And I tweeted that tweet out of him getting an NIL deal, and I said, hey, all it takes is one game to show out at Ohio State, and you get that bag. And the running backs coach for Ohio State liked it, man. So, I mean, I'm just saying, man, like that's all it takes. And I mean, sometimes like I know a running back just decommitted from Ohio State, and some Ohio State fans, man, just going at this kid, and I hate when people do it, because it's just like, this is their decision, it's their life. You don't have to live it. Like, it has nothing to do with you at all. But people always looking past that gold, right? Looking past what you already got. And it's like, stop looking for what's next and look at what you already have. The coaching staff is what needs to be focused on. Those guys committing, decommitting, or whatever. Just know every time that this happens, they're always putting somebody out here who can ball out. So,
Hey, Mike, we got a question for you. Do you like Trey's body language?
no, I did not like Trey's body language. And here's the thing: I saw him showing frustration, and it didn't look like it was frustration that he was taking out on himself. It looked like he was frustrated with the team or the O line when actually he was the one making the mistakes. There's a thing that came out that, and I was watching the game, and especially in like the first half, majority of the game when Trey was in the game, you knew when he was getting the ball because he had his mouthpiece in. So it's like he was getting the ball on handoffs, or it could have been a screenplay. But when his mouthpiece was down, he was mostly in pass pro or used as a decoy, or should have been in pass pro and wasn't doing it. I mean, honestly, he made a lot of freshman mistakes. I didn't like. I mean, he still has the issue of he's trying to hit the home run every time, and it's just not working for the betterment of the team, man. I don't know. Down in Hayden, he showed me he was able to be chill, even kill through it all. Even when he was stopped in the backfield or stopped on the 1 yard line, and boom, they still ran him again, right? Like that's the maturity that Dallin Hayden showed me is the maturity that we should have saw out of Trey. And I was kind of disappointed that I didn't see that. I was disappointed. I mean, it did look like when Dallin was making plays that he did seem, to stand up or whatever and look a little bit hyped for that. So maybe that's good. But while he was in the game, I didn't like his body language at all.
All right. We got some final takes. Anything coming up for this next week? I know we're about to get into some good matches. So make sure y'all stay tuned and following all of our social media platforms for updates. We were posting daily on there. So make sure y'all do just that. And then if you miss parts of tonight's podcast, make sure you catch it on your favorite podcast platform tomorrow morning. And with that, Mike EG, you got anything else for the audience?
Man, Ohio State, man. Let's go, Buckeyes. We about to get this dub. Everybody that's been jumping on this dang on Team Up North bandwagon for some reason, just because they got one win, I'm so sick and tired of it, bro. All y'all about to go in the dirt, about to put y'all in the dirt. Y'all gonna have to come on this show, stand in the paint, man.
Hey, next week, make sure y'all tune in and make sure y'all come on the show, hop in it. If Ohio State walks away with that dub, or if they walk away with that L, we want all the smoke here. So make sure y'all stay tuned. EG, you got anything else for the people?
Hey, man, Big Blue is coming for you, Mike. They coming, Mike.
Not too much. Okay. And with that, we are out, people.
Go Bucks.